Well, we will have more of Andrea's interview straight ahead, but now to politics here at home. And Sarah Palin's, quote, Mama Grizzlies are roaring into the midterms. Palin's efforts have propelled once little-known candidates like Nikki Haley in South Carolina, Christine O'Donnell in Delaware into the national spotlight and given Republican women a new momentum heading into November. Jess McIntosh is the spokesperson for Emily's List, which is a national organization dedicated to electing pro-choice Democratic women to office. Jess, it's nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I imagine it's bittersweet for a group like yours, because on the one hand, you're dedicated to electing women. On the other hand, the women that seem to have all the momentum right now really don't agree with your basic platform.
You know, there's a lot of talk this year about it being the year of the GOP woman. At Emily's List, it is always the year of the woman. It's always what we're trying to do is promote more women running, more pro-choice Democratic women.
Well, wait a minute, because that's different, right? Because, right. I mean, are you happy in just an abstract sense to have more women in public life, no matter their political views?
Absolutely, but let's give credit where credit's due. Republicans are doing significantly better than Republicans usually do at recruiting women and at voting for women. They don't match our numbers yet. They don't come close, and they're having a hard time getting through their primaries. Republicans still have a lot of work to do getting Republicans to vote for women and getting women to vote for Republicans, and I think that that's because of the policies that they're promoting, which are not necessarily friendly to women and families.
Well, obviously Sarah Palin is at the forefront of this movement. She had her now famous ad calling Mama Grizzlies out, and I guess Emily's List considers her to be enough of a force to respond. I want to play an ad that you all put together, and we can talk about it. Let's listen.
Sarah Palin recently released a video speaking on behalf of Mama Grizzlies. Well, Sarah Palin, you don't speak for us. There are plenty of Mama Grizzlies out there who would disagree with you. So you're right. You don't want to mess with Mama Grizzlies. Don't mess with us.
All right, well, true to form, Sarah Palin responded on her Facebook page. She said, quote, lying about a sister while wearing an Ewok outfit is no way to honor our foremothers on the eve of the 90th anniversary of their victory. Speaking of suffragettes, I suppose. Right. But that aside, I'd love to know where you got those get-ups. Halloween is just around the corner, and Piper and Trig would look adorable as little grizzly bears. So, okay, in some ways this has devolved. What's your approach here?
Well, we wanted to, you know, as you said, she's at the forefront of the GOP women's movement, and it's created quite a bit of noise in the media and elsewhere. So we wanted to make sure that there was a forum for women to respond as a community to Sarah Palin and to the radical candidates that she's endorsed. So about a month ago, Emily's List launched Sarah Doesn't Speak for Me with this video featuring the Mama Grizzly costumes. They're not Ewoks, but we are looking for smaller versions for the kids. We'll be happy to send along. We have been overwhelmed with the response to that campaign and that video.
And in all seriousness, I mean, you do it with some fun, but are you concerned that women in particular will look at some of these female candidates and assume they carry a set of views that they don't necessarily carry? I mean, is that what you're trying to do?
You know, women don't vote for women because they're women. If that were true, we would have achieved parity a long time ago. Women vote for candidates, and traditionally Democratic women, because they're promoting pro-woman, pro-family policies. And we think that's what's going to happen this November. But we wanted to make sure, given all of the focus on Sarah Palin and a couple other outsized personalities, you're seeing Christine O'Donnell now, Nikki Haley a little while ago, that there was a forum for women to respond, that was not the only noise on the playing field.
But you guys aren't suggesting that just by virtue of someone being a woman that they have to hold a set of views.
Not at all.
I mean, there's room for women to disagree on issues over abortion,
absolutely.
So on and so forth.
And some of the races that are our absolute top priorities are woman versus woman matchups. You look at Barbara Boxer versus Carly Fiorina in California. We would like to see more women versus women matchups. I think that should be the norm, not the exception. But that's a race where there really is no starker contrast between Barbara Boxer, who's a major champion of women, and Carly Fiorina, who's a Palin-endorsed, self-proclaimed Mama Grizzly, who's going to advocate policies that are bad for women and families.
With Palin having so much sway on the Republican side of things, are you missing a Democratic woman who can be as persuasive. Some might think of a certain Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, once a formidable campaigner herself, but who's now out of the game this cycle.
Well, she's out of the political game, but I think she can be such an inspiration to girls and women everywhere doing what she is doing. But the thing about the Sarah Doesn't Speak for Me campaign that I enjoyed the most was how many women responded in the second video that we put out, which you can see at emilyslist.org now, was the response to Sarah Palin. And that's where I think we're going to see the Democratic answer to her. It is not one woman. It is a community of women all over the country who are standing up and saying no.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch. Jess McIntosh from Emily's List, thanks for your time today.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Coming up next, the Tea Party and the Republicans. Can they settle the rift before it costs them in November?